Hello and welcome to yet another installment of What is a Sport here on this one-on-one sports webcast. I'm Sean Dolan, and as always, the red-headed wonder himself, Andy Harris, joins me. His challenger today, making his What is a Sport debut, is our Josh Norris in the making, Jimmy Stevenson. Guys, we've talked about the relationship between technical skill and athletic ability in sports. So where does bowling fall in that debate? Is bowling a sport?
Absolutely. I don't see why not. I mean, no, it doesn't have the intensity of another sport. It's obviously not a contact sport like football. It's more of an individual sport. It's turn-based. That said, it requires a ton of precision, very good aim, balance, form, and even strategy on the second shot as far as picking up a spare. Frankly, I see no reason why it should not be considered a sport.
Okay. Precision, aim, balance, form. All that is muscle memory. I get out there, go to the lanes, just roll some balls nonstop. Eventually, I'm going to get it down. It takes 12 frames to get a perfect score. 12 strikes, I got a 300, no big deal. Bowling is so much,
no big deal, no.
It's so much not a sport. I even think Andy Harris could pull it off.
Well,
Wow,
I am an
all right.
athletic specimen. I mean, just
I mean, here's the thing. When I go to the bowling lanes, if I'm on a good day, I bowl an 80. So it takes a lot of skill. I agree. But I mean, physically, though, I don't think it's challenging enough to be a sport. I think there's got to be some give and take in bowling. I mean, it's technically challenging. Athletically,
okay.
not so
Just you.
much.
I'll admit, it doesn't require the highest level of
you and the
fitness. I'll
pins.
admit that. But, I mean, again, I just think the raw difficulty and the level of precision that's required, and it requires a lot more coordination than people really give it credit for.
No, definitely. I don't do well unless the little bumpers are covering the lane lines. Otherwise,
Sean.
otherwise,
You can bowl a
otherwise,
perfect game with bumper bowling.
well, apparently rolling a perfect game is no big deal according
No,
to
it's
this
12
guy.
frames.
So.
not an
Well,
accomplishment.
Well, hey, there are plenty of other challenges that walk the line between athleticism and techniques, such as hunting. It started as a primitive battle for survival, pitting man against nature and all her elements. But is it a sport?
Yes. You just said it right there. Picture this. Back in the day, back in the day, you got your Cro-Magnon, right? And he's trying to get his feet on, trying to get a snack on, right? So what's he do? He makes the meanest arrowhead he can, and he finds the biggest animal and just slices him up, feeds it to his family. Without that, you know, hold on. AI said it himself. Only the strong survive. Hunting is a sport. It's our first sport that the world has ever seen.
All right.
Hunting, yes.
Sport, all right.
Slice of the neck sounds more like a prison fight. Hunting is not a sport. I'm sorry. I mean, way back in the day, your boy Cro-Magnon, that's called eating. I don't know if eating's a sport. I don't even consider competitive eating a sport,
game
but
of
that's a
life.
different argument. I don't want to get into that. Anyway, hunting, I will say this, it's a big fat maybe. It depends on the type of hunting. For one thing, poaching, that's a sport because you got to evade the law. That's very difficult. Hunting on the safari, you know, hunting lions, rhinoceroses,
Trophy
animals
hunting.
that can obliterate you if you annoy them.
The fear
That's a
factor is
sport.
there.
Yes,
There we go.
exactly. If you track them across the forest, across the safari, yes, that takes a lot of skill. I'll say that's a sport. It's not a sport when you're hunting Bambi, sitting in a tree for 8 hours, trying to get him to come by and sniff your lure and come out in the open so you can shoot him. I'm sorry, you're sitting in a tree. Children do that.
No, Andy, I totally agree with you. Like we talked about fishing on the last block, and again, that's just sitting around waiting for a fish to bite. I agree. I would like to think hunting is a sport, though, because it's man at his most primitive form. Definitely
Boom,
a sport.
nailed it.
Now, hunting as well as other activities involve animals, like horse racing, fishing. All of these are sometimes contested as human sports, but they certainly pit the best of the animals against each other, and in that sense, could be sports for the animals themselves. So how about dog shows? Are dog shows sports?
Well, I took my dog, I don't even know its name because it doesn't actually exist, but I took a dog out for a walk yesterday, and I took it for a walk around the neighborhood, and dogs need their exercise. And, I think that makes me an athlete. What's your contention with that? I'm an athlete, right? I took my dog along for a walk. That makes me an athlete because that's how you do in a dog show.
Okay. Hold up here. We got two different types of dog shows. Making that dog look fresh, fly, good, that's one thing. And then making that sucker run, jump, do its thing. They're two different beasts, but both of them involve so much time and effort you gotta put into that. You need your maintenance, your care, and just pure passion and love into these dogs. Look at this guy, come on.
I'm sorry. I'm not yawning because I only got 2 hours of sleep last night. I'm yawning because dog shows are literally the most boring things on earth. You can't even tell me you've watched one. Maybe you've seen the movie that's a parody
does
of them.
Best in
In
Show
honor of
count? Because I
Thanksgiving.
have.
Was it Talladega Nights or Days of Thunder make NASCAR sport? I don't think so.
That's a whole
Look,
nother
I mean, yeah,
debate.
you're right. It's preparation. You got to train the
Yes.
animal. I won't take that away from them. But that requires absolutely no athletic ability
Well, on
whatsoever.
the
Hey,
part
you
of
gotta
the
run
animal,
with the
it might.
dog.
On the part of the
Okay,
animal,
so
it
you have to
might.
jog.
Is it a sport for the dog?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, okay,
They're jumping
maybe, but
through,
not for
up
the
and
owner, not for the trainer.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's a joke.
No, that's valid. One more quick question for you guys. You know, we're all being from the Philadelphia area.
Absolutely.
Throwing
right.
snowballs at Santa Claus, a sport or just hilarious?
Absolutely, especially if it's a skinny Santa Claus who's very elusive, and you know you're sitting maybe in the 700 level, a couple hundred feet away from
Yeah.
the field. You know, I mean that takes
takes
a lot
that's
of skill.
precision.
I
That's
mean,
precision.
now that is hunting.
Yeah.
That is hunting, and my
That is
friends,
hunting.
that is a sport.
But if you got your big red belly Santa, you want to leave him alone, right? He's got to make the kids happy.
Oh yeah, I
he
mean
does.
leave him alone.
He does,
Absolutely.
definitely.
There you go.
Well, that concludes this edition of What is a Sport, guys. Thanks for your input as always. Be sure to check out more one-on-one sports content, including webcasts on YouTube, daily television shows on ESTV, radio broadcasts on WSOE, blogs at WordPress.com, and discussions on our Facebook page. For all of one-on-one sports, thanks for watching. And as always, we want to know, whose side are you on?